Deltarune Chapters 3 and 4 have been out for a good few months now, and my goodness did they deliver. Not only did both chapters introduce some awesome characters and some heartfelt moments, but it delivered some of the best music I've ever heard Toby Fox make in a long time. Now, we already know Toby is the GOAT when it comes to video game music. So before I get into this list, it goes without saying that just because some of the tracks didn't make my top 10 does not mean I don't love the track or appreciate it. I spent a solid 4 hours on stream tier listing every track, from what I personally believe to be the best to worst. It must be said, when doing this list, I was quite shocked by the order in which things ended up. Which leads me to mention this is just my opinion, so please bear that in mind before going into this. In fact, feel free to share what your favourite Deltarune track is in the comments down below. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Chapter 3 was a bit of a wild card for me. It wasn't a bad chapter by any means, but it was my least favourite for one reason. It didn't feel very Deltarune for a good length of it, though this isn't inherently a bad thing. It was just a bit strange to me waiting 3 or so years for the next chapter, only for it to feel very different to the game I had been looking forward to playing for so long. However, I know that people that played from chapter 1 through until 3 had a blast with all the gimmicks and subversion of Deltarune's gameplay and mechanics. I kind of envy them for that. With that being said, once we finally escape Tenna's grasp and regain our ability to free roam, I am reminded immediately of how much I love this game, as I am greeted with an absolute banger track. Everything I loved about Deltarune comes rushing back to me. A wave of both nostalgia and excitement for what's to come hit me at once, while I'm swaying and bobbing in my chair. Man, this theme is a bop. What the f*** is a time signature? Honestly, Toby, what is this madness? I love it! Not to mention how beautifully this piece is introduced with the ripple aesthetic as you're stepping through the darkness. It's something I'm noticing Toby doing more, which is delivering his music visually as well as audibly, integrating it artistically to create a sense of adventure, curiosity, exploration. No different to the way that Asaba's World or Dark Sanctuary was introduced. The changes and choices of time signatures in this piece is so fitting to what this world is, Susie's first Dark World. It feels disjointed and haphazardly put together, familiar but not quite the same. It shouldn't work, but it does. The definition of Susie's idea.
Fight!
This one's a surprise to me, but every time I hear it, I just remember how fun the fight itself was, as well as how 80s synthwave and retro it feels. This track hits harder than I feel it should have, and I find myself listening to it more and more. I kept trying to put things above this track, but I genuinely struggled to justify it, as Knock You Down is just such a clean track. Not to mention a good length, and that synth! Come on, man. Hot take, this track fucks. I know, I'm just as shocked as you are to see this track this high, but I am constantly jiving to it. It embodies everything Queen, while also genuinely feeling like I'm in a madman's mansion. Madwoman's? Mad computers? Whatever. Point is, I'm not sure what it is about this track that has me doing a good old skeleton shimmy every time I hear it, but I could not deny that it belongs in my top 10. As soon as I knew that Chapter 4 was taking place within a church setting, I knew I was in for one hell of a musical journey. Though I must admit, I was not ready for... The Mizzle ghosts that fade in and out for the sole purpose of selling the song. As we ascend into the unknown world we have just dived into, it's just... oh! It genuinely brings a tear to my eye every single time I replay this moment or watch someone experience it for the first time. It just holds so much more emotion for me due to that moment alone that I rate it higher than the other sanctuaries, as the others just did not hit me the same way that this one did. Chaos, chaos! The embodiment of chaos in musical form. A polka circus theme that certainly turns the heads of those not in the know when they hear me blasting it. But who can deny that this is a bop? Can't say the fight is a lot of fun. A lot of painful memories fighting this guy, but his theme slaps. What can I say? It's got my head spinning, spinning, spinning! Honestly, for the longest time, this used to be my favorite theme Toby Fox has ever made. Rude Buster, the default battle theme, is one of the coolest tracks I had heard from him without competition. And to this day, I still enjoy it more than most of his other themes that he's made. Given that this is just the default battle theme, something has to be said for how hard it goes, for how easy it gets stuck in my head, and for how much fun it is to actually listen to. How often can you say that about any other default battle theme? That's why Rude Buster is way up there. If Steve Harvey had boss music, this is what it would be. I can't get that image out of my head, so I share this curse with you all. You're welcome! But honestly, this theme didn't hit me much at first, but it never left my mind by the end of it, and I never tire of hearing it. It's like an itch that needs scratching every now and again, and I have no idea why. It's just so joyous and fun. Genuinely one of the most fun battles in the game to date. I love how it's all fun and games and then dips into danger with motifs from Doomboard that create a real oh shit moment for the player. I mean, Tenna's a powerful guy. He has literal reality-bending abilities that nobody really pays much attention to, but he is literally able to transport people and spawn things at will, not to mention break the fourth wall. Thank God all he wants to do is play games. Regardless of that, this theme fits himself and the battle so perfectly, and this moment where the brass blares back in, sells it for me every time I hear it. What a bop! Toby, my guy, we didn't need this. We didn't ask for this. Why did you make this? Rude Buster was already a jam, and you made it ruder? Naughty, naughty, naughty! This track is just so rude. And I wish I had more of an analysis on it than that, but Toby didn't lie. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It's so clean, so needless, but so just the way that it's enough of Rude Buster to feel familiar, but also something completely new that slides and has me jazzing and vibing more than I should be to a track that plays twice. And honestly, I don't even know legitimately why this track exists, but I'm so glad it does. Thank you, Toby Fox, for this absolute masterpiece. Oh, I have a lot to say about this track. My favorite since I heard it, and apparently, even to my surprise, has yet to be knocked off that pedestal. Attack of the Killer Queen is everything I want it to be and more. Queen is a character we almost grow to form a bond with and a relationship with throughout Chapter 2. We know we're inevitably going to fight her as it's video game 101. However, the actual introduction to the fight is a real oh shit, she's actually going to do something pretty messed up. A complete juxtaposition to the character we have been with throughout the whole chapter so far. Birdley, as much as we dislike him, is about to have his face removed. Not to mention she is threatening to create a new dark fountain and bring about the roaring. This is some actual villain shit! And this theme sells that to us. It's no longer joyous or playful, it rises and rises and rises to a threatening degree, sharing and showcasing Queen's motifs in a more villainous light, then on an even more chilling note, plays Birdley's motif in the B section of the track that reminds us of who we need to save. Then the main theme drops back in, double time, in a way that feels almost toxic. Thematic considering that she's drinking literal battery acid to generate shields during the fight. Just a perfectly well-rounded track that sounds just the right levels of dark and epic at the same time, that I just never get tired of listening to. Just some quick-fire honourable mentions here that were actually tracks number 11 and 14 on my list. Starting with Black Knife. Honestly, if you've ever heard it, you know why it's here. It just goes hard. Following that is Never Ending Night, an utterly gorgeous track that hits you right at the end of Chapter 4, reminding you of just how amazing that chapter was as a whole. We then have From Now On, Battle 2, which I actually really love as a battle theme. However, it got knocked down a few pegs because, in my opinion, I feel the standard Deltarune track that this battle theme slips into in the latter half actually lets it down. Up until then, it was a really funky and cool original track that then fell into what felt like an old crutch or habit for me. I would have preferred the track continued or evolved in some way instead of just moving into something we've heard before. And lastly, one I expect many people wanted to see on this list, Big Shot. This is a track I do love and like to listen to on occasion. The issue with this track for me is I just wish it sounded cleaner. It sounds too compressed and crunchy for my liking. I love it rhythmically and melodically, but sometimes I find it hard to listen to as it just sounds nothing but loud at times. I just feel like it's really missing space. And there you have it, my top 10 favourite Deltarune tracks. I'd just like to take a moment to say thank you for watching. If you made it this far, be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more content like this. This video took a lot of time and work to make, so it would be greatly appreciated. Anyway, thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao ciao.